In a world where everyone strives to stand out, there are women whose presence does not go unnoticed. Their magnetism lies not in perfect looks or following fashion trends. Rather, it is a certain inner strength, an aura of confidence and mystery that attracts attention and makes hearts beat faster. What is the secret of their attractiveness? How do they manage to radiate such energy that inspires and leaves a lasting impression? In reality, their appeal is not a gift from above, but the result of conscious work on themselves. They do not seek to please or meet someone's expectations. They simply remain true to themselves. It is this authenticity and self-sufficiency that makes them truly irresistible. How can you develop these qualities in yourself? How to learn to create an aura around yourself that will attract attention and admiration. Next, we will look at 8 key habits that will help unlock this inner strength and transform the perception of yourself and the world around you. This is not a set of cosmetic tricks or manipulative techniques. It is about a deep inner transformation that manifests itself in appearance and behavior. By mastering these habits, you can notice how the attitude of others changes. Views become more interested, conversations become deeper, and life becomes more eventful and brighter. From the very first habit, a transformation will begin that will affect not only the perception from the outside, but also your own sense of self. Get ready for an exciting journey that will open up new facets of attractiveness and confidence. The first distinguishing feature, inner conviction surpasses any outfit. Self-confidence is not screaming self-praise, but a restrained yet powerful force that is felt instantly when a person appears. Others perceive this energy even before the conversation begins, noticing posture, gait, and gaze. A woman who possesses confidence does not need external approval because she herself radiates acceptance and self-respect. She has no need to seem better because she realizes her self-sufficiency. This is not arrogance, but a calm awareness of one's own value. When such a woman enters a room, those around her feel her state. She either occupies the space or apologizes for her presence. Both men and women immediately notice this difference. Confidence makes any woman more attractive, even if she is dressed in a simple dress and with minimal makeup, because her beauty is not hidden behind her appearance, but comes from within. She does not lower her eyes to the floor, does not fidget with her fingers, and does not look for glances confirming her importance. She looks straight, not defiantly, but confidently, and in this look there is no challenge, but there is clarity and calmness. Scientific studies show that self-confident women seem more attractive, regardless of generally accepted standards of beauty, because confidence sends a signal. I am valuable, and I am comfortable with myself. This signal awakens interest in others. You can start by consciously straightening your back every time you enter a room. Posture and gait are a reflection of the inner state. Speech should be a little slower without trying to fill every pause. Silence, spoken with confidence, has more weight than loud words. It is important to remember that such a woman does not ask for attention, she directs it. This habit can transform not only the perception of others, but also one's own self-perception. The second habit that empowers is the art of detachment. Have you ever noticed how irresistibly the desire increases to possess something that is elusive, that does not lie on the surface? Something similar happens when a woman is in no hurry to dissolve into another person, but maintains a light, barely perceptible distance. And this is not a flirty game and not a manipulative technique, but a manifestation of deep respect for one's own personality. A woman living a rich, interesting life does not feel the need for minute-by-minute confirmation of her importance. She is not content with the role of shadow, because she herself radiates a bright, attractive light. She has no desperate need to be around at any cost. She carefully chooses those who are worthy to share her path with her, and this conscious choice makes her even more desirable in the eyes of others. Men instinctively feel the fine line when a woman does not seek to please at all costs, but radiates calmness and confidence in her own value. She is not in a hurry to respond to every message instantly because her time is filled with things to do, hobbies, and taking care of personal space. Her world does not revolve exclusively around another person, and that is why people want to penetrate this world so much. People tend to value what seems rare and inaccessible. When a woman is always available, her actions are predictable, and her thoughts are transparent. Interest in her inevitably weakens. But when she possesses an elusive freedom and a light touch of mystery, a man can't stop thinking about her, striving to unravel her enigma. Such is human nature, an irresistible urge towards what is not guaranteed, towards what must be earned. Here, however, it's important to maintain a delicate balance. Detachment is not indifference or coldness, but a deep awareness that your time and attention are a valuable gift, not an unconditional obligation. In practical terms, this means don't cancel your own plans for someone else's fleeting mood. Be true to your principles, your interests, your path. Let him understand that to be with you, he needs to earn that right, not just come and take it. And the less you cling to the situation, the clearer he feels that your presence is not a given, but a privilege, the stronger his desire for you will be. And all this is not out of fear of losing, but out of deep love and respect for yourself. It should be remembered that a woman who possesses an inner core that cannot be approached without due respect will always be worth her weight in gold. And when you master this habit perfectly, you will inevitably notice how relationships around you are transformed, because you are no longer the one desperately clinging to others, but the one to whom others sincerely aspire. The third important habit worthy of attention is the ability to create your own unique style, which eloquently speaks of personality without a single word. Style is more than just clothes. It's a silent language, a visual autograph, a reflection of a person's unique story. When a lady appears in society dressed in an outfit that harmoniously combines with her inner world and emphasizes individuality, and her posture exudes confidence and inner harmony, she leaves an indelible impression. It is important to understand that style is not blindly following fleeting fashion trends or chasing expensive brands. It's the art of dressing in accordance with your inner feeling of self. A woman with a sense of style does not seek to please everyone around her because she is already happy with herself, and this is key. Her appearance is an extension of her inner world, not a separate element. The choice of colors, fabrics, and accessories is not accidental, but a conscious expression of her essence. She knows exactly which styles emphasize her strengths and avoids anything that seems false or imposed. Even in a simple dress, she looks as if it was created specifically for her. The loose bun is not accidental, but thought out to the smallest detail. Even the fragrance she chooses doesn't scream about itself, but leaves a subtle yet memorable trail. Article P of appearance emphasizes that the first impression of a person's appearance is 70% formed not by facial features, but by how they present themselves, their style, and manners. You can be dressed in the most ordinary clothes, but if you wear them with confidence and dignity, then this is already a big step forward. Style is a way to declare yourself without saying a word. It allows you to stand out from the crowd without attracting intrusive attention. It's a special energy that is felt even before the conversation begins. Practical advice. You need to study which elements of clothing and accessories best emphasize the advantages of the figure and correspond to the character. It is important to find your colors, textures, and silhouettes. Let clothes work for you, not against you. Strive to become the woman whose appearance evokes admiration not only because of beauty, but also thanks to the integrity of the image. The appearance should say that you know who you are and remain true to yourself. When style becomes a reflection of inner dignity, it ceases to be just a set of things, but becomes part of your magnetism and charm. The fourth habit inherent in women with special magnetism is the radiation of energy of calm and soft confidence. There are ladies whose appearance in any room does not go unnoticed, even if they do not utter a word. They do not seek to announce themselves with a shout or fuss, do not try to dominate by the loudness of their voice. Their strength lies in something else, in the soft, confident energy that emanates from them and attracts attention. Such a woman does not need to demonstrate her strength, since her true power is manifested in every calm breath, smooth movement, and open look. She does not enter into senseless competition, preferring to observe and analyze. Her body is relaxed, her voice sounds even, and her gaze expresses openness and depth at the same time. This is not just a game or a set of techniques, but a natural inner state, accepted by her as an integral part of herself. She does not experience fear of silence, understanding that silence is also a form of communication. Such a woman does not interrupt the interlocutor and does not rush to express her opinion, waiting for the right moment for her words. And when she starts talking, she is listened to carefully. Her communication style lacks pressure, but exudes unwavering confidence. She knows how to create an atmosphere of freedom and comfort for those around her, which is why people are drawn to her. Studies at the University of California confirm that men are more interested in women who radiate calmness and inner harmony. This is because the presence of such a woman eliminates tension and creates a sense of stability and peace instead. In practical terms, this means consciously controlling your body language, which often speaks louder than words. Relaxed shoulders, a soft gaze, and a gentle smile can create a completely different atmosphere. Don't be afraid of pauses in conversation, as they add weight to your words. It's also important to let go of the desire to control everything and allow events to unfold naturally. When a woman stops rushing and seeking attention, attention comes to her on its own. The energy of calmness is not a sign of weakness. It is a strength that requires no proof. The more a woman embraces this energy, the brighter her inner light shines. True light doesn't flicker, it simply shines, and it's this energy that makes a woman irresistible to those around her. The fifth skill of seduction lies in the ability to use speech as a powerful tool. Words can wound like arrows or caress like silk. A woman who has mastered the art of conversation never rushes to speak first and doesn't try to fill the silence at any cost. She uses pauses to create an atmosphere of tension, intrigue, and arouse interest. Her speech flows like a slow-moving stream, resembling a melody. She speaks not to impress, but to establish a genuine connection. There is not a hint of fussiness in her voice, only a firm intention that is felt in every glance, every word, and in how she pauses before uttering a key phrase. This woman doesn't rush to lay out her entire life in the first few minutes of acquaintance. She leaves room for the other person's imagination. Men don't like having all the cards revealed at once, but they can't resist a woman who leaves things unsaid, mysteries, and half-tones. Psychologists say that 80% of attractiveness in communication is created not by words, but by intonation, facial expression, gestures, and well-placed pauses. Therefore, how a woman speaks is much more important than what she says. She asks unexpected, deep questions that make the other person think about themselves, such as, "What inspires you to get up in the morning?" rather than "What do you do for a living?" She listens attentively and with sincere interest, encouraging the man to talk more about himself. When she talks about herself, she does so easily and casually, only hinting at something, not revealing all the cards at once. "It's a long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it sometime later." This already contains intrigue. She skillfully uses her voice as an instrument, lowering her tone, slowing down her pace, emphasizing key points. She is not afraid of silence, but makes it part of the conversation. Her conversation is not a struggle for attention, but rather an invitation to a special space where you want to stay forever. Above all, one should start with a conscious approach to communication. It is important to ask questions that go beyond the usual, to practice active listening, paying more attention to the other person than to one's own speech, and to make them feel important. A gaze can be a powerful tool of communication. It is recommended to look at a person a little longer than usual, and then gently look away, creating a sense of genuine interest. It is not necessary to demonstrate your intelligence, but the ability to communicate with genuine intention will certainly leave a lasting impression on the other person. The sixth important habit is recognizing one's own freedom as the main advantage. A woman who doesn't need someone else to feel happy possesses incredible attractiveness. She lacks desperation, dependence, or the desire to dissolve into another person to find a sense of self-worth. Her energy seems to say, "I already have everything I need, and if you want to be around, you'll have to measure up." Such a woman doesn't seek salvation in relationships and doesn't make a man the meaning of her existence. She has her own goals, dreams, hobbies, and activities that she enjoys, and this is what makes her so attractive. Men intuitively feel that they can't relax and take things for granted around such a woman. To enter her world, one must meet her level. She doesn't cling to those who don't value her, but lets them go easily and without regret, because she knows that she deserves to be with someone who values and respects her. Such a woman evokes admiration, respect, and passion at the same time. She lives a fulfilling life, traveling, studying, creating, and constantly growing. There's a fire in her eyes that doesn't fade when she's alone, and her home is filled with warmth and comfort even without a partner. Studies confirm that people with an inner sense of autonomy are perceived as more mature and reliable partners, which makes sense because you want to be drawn to a strong personality, not save them. On a practical level, it's recommended to find your passion, something that fills you with energy, regardless of those around you. This could be an interesting project, a hobby, volunteer work, art, or anything else. Start your day not by waiting for attention from others, but by focusing on your own goals and aspirations. Nurture your inner wealth by reading books, attending interesting events, and traveling. Don't let relationships become the only source of joy in your life. When a woman becomes a self-sufficient and complete individual, she stops depending on other people's behavior, and that's when positive changes happen in her life. After all, a truly irresistible woman is one who can be with anyone, but chooses to be only with someone who truly deserves it. The seventh habit that cultivates magnetism is developing emotional maturity. A woman who has reached this stage shows restraint and doesn't give in to momentary impulses, realizing that her worth is not determined by fleeting reactions. She avoids melodramatic scenes, remains composed, and avoids extremes in behavior. Her inner world is like a quiet lake, reflecting clarity of thought and worldly wisdom. Such a woman is capable of deep feeling, but doesn't allow emotions to dictate her actions. She may be touched, but maintains inner stability. She doesn't resort to tears as a means of manipulation, doesn't use silence as a form of punishment, and doesn't play the cold and detached game. Her honesty is a sign of maturity, not spontaneity. She expresses her thoughts directly but delicately, sets personal boundaries without destroying relationships. Her calmness has a beneficial effect on others, inspiring them to become better. Men feel that they can be themselves around such a woman without fear of judgment or pressure. This doesn't mean that she's willing to tolerate anything. On the contrary, she's clearly aware of what is unacceptable to her and is able to calmly leave if someone violates her boundaries. However, she does this without aggression, without seeking revenge, or wanting to punish the offender. Her decisions are based not on emotions, but on established values. Psychologists say that emotional maturity is a key factor in readiness for healthy relationships, but at the same time remains a fairly rare quality. For practical application of this habit, it's recommended to start with careful observation of your own reactions. In situations that cause negative emotions, it's important not to rush to respond, but to give yourself time to understand the source of these feelings. You need to learn to talk about your experiences, avoiding accusations. It's recommended to use phrases that begin with the words, "I feel," "It's important to me," "I choose." And most importantly, You should stop expecting someone else to make you happy. You need to take responsibility for your own happiness. A woman with self-control and emotional maturity becomes an attractive magnet because inner depth evokes admiration and makes her indispensable. The eighth distinguishing feature is that elusive aura of presence that surrounds some women, like a magnet, attracting attention to them without the slightest effort on their part. They don't try to outshine everyone with their wit or outdo them with their outfits, but it is they who attract the eyes of others. Their attractiveness lies not in loudness or extravagance, but in that special aura that arises from the ability to live in the present moment without being distracted by regrets about the past or worries about the future. A woman who possesses this rare ability doesn't waste her attention on trifles. She doesn't check her phone every minute, doesn't look around for something more interesting, and doesn't fuss for no reason. Her energy is concentrated, creating an impression of depth and solidity. A man who is next to such a woman feels as if he is in another dimension, calm, alive, and authentic. He feels that he is seen and understood, and that's what creates that unique attractiveness that cannot be forgotten. Such a woman doesn't need loud statements or empty promises. She speaks little, but every word is filled with meaning and knowledge. She can be silent while remaining the center of attention. This is a skill that requires constant practice, to be attentive to others, open to new experiences, and conscious in every moment. In practice, this means knowing how to slow down, breathe deeper, hold eye contact a little longer, shift your focus from outward appearances to inward sensations, and not be afraid of silence. Cultivating the skill of being present makes a woman indispensable. People are drawn to those who notice and value them, and a woman who can be fully engaged in conversation gives that feeling to others, making her unique. She doesn't demand attention, she simply exists, and her simply being turns out to be more powerful than any effort. A woman's true charm lies not in a loud voice, a luxurious outfit, or the number of compliments she receives, but in how she carries herself in this world, radiating confidence and tranquility. These 8 simple rules are not just a set of techniques. They are a true compass on the path to oneself, a triumphant return to the awareness of one's own significance, to a sense of dignity, and to that unwavering confidence that cannot be bought or imitated. It's not necessary to have the looks of a movie star, youthful exuberance, or dazzling charm, but simply starting to incorporate even one of these helpful habits into your life will bring about positive changes without delay. Your gaze will become more insightful, your gait will gain confidence, your voice will be filled with calmness, and those around you will not be able to help but notice the transformation. After all, inner energy always speaks louder than any words or actions. It all begins with deep respect for oneself, with sincere love for one's inner world, with a conscious choice to be the kind of woman whose company is sought not because of her attempts to please, but because she already radiates light and harmony.